Warning, your home is physically shrinking your ambition. Most people tidy for looks. The top 1% design their homes to cut brain drag. Every counter, basket, and drawer either steals or saves energy. Your home runs a constant micro-esque loop. Where does this go? Do I need that? Check this. And it's shrinking your ambition without you noticing. Here's the promise. In the next hour, you'll learn how to have those ambient decisions and free up the mental energy you keep trying to brute force with willpower. There's a secret step that makes this 10 times easier, coming up, but first, quick proof you can feel in 3 minutes. Because if you ignore this, laundry and dishes will beat your long-term goals every single time. The fix isn't faster cleaning. It's fewer decisions per action. Let's measure your ambient cognitive load right now, then I'll show you why your brain hates your house and how to rewire it fast. The 3-minute audit. Grab your phone timer. Walk 1 loop, entryway to kitchen to desk and back. Count every moment your brain whispers, where does this go? Or should I do this now? That includes mail piles, a coat with no hook, a pan on the stove, a tab open on your laptop, the basket with no label. Don't fix anything. Just count. Ready, go. If you hit more than 15 in 3 minutes, you're in decision fatigue terrain. No shame. This is math, not morals. What you just felt is ambient cognitive load, or ACL. It's the invisible drag from tiny unresolved choices. The thing most people miss is it's not a willpower problem. It's a nervous system budgeting problem. Your brain can only juggle so much before it starts cutting ambition to keep you safe. Here's why it feels heavy. 2 forces pile on. First, the Zeigarnik effect. Unfinished tasks stay active in your mind. Second, attention residue from Sophie Leary's research, University of Washington Bothell. When you switch from an unfinished task A to task B, part of your attention stays stuck on A, so B gets fewer resources. That's why you open your laptop and still feel the sink calling you. Pair that with predictive coding. Your brain keeps guessing what belongs where, and you've got a steady cortisol nudge from clutter cues that read like, work not done. Quick win because momentum beats overwhelm. Pick 1 orphan item you touch during that loop, keys, remote, a random charger. Create a home for it in 60 seconds. Closed container, simple label with a verb like charge or drop. Put it where you actually use it, not where you wish you used it. Then put the orphan away, 1 touch. That tiny move just closed a loop and gave your brain a clean, done signal. Now, before we continue, you need to understand what's actually happening under the hood. Your house isn't just messy. It's running a background process your brain can't ignore. Once this clicks, everything else gets easier because we'll stop trying to clean faster and start designing for fewer choices per action. Cognitive load 101. Why your brain hates your house. Your brain is powerful, but the working memory buffer is tiny, roughly 4 plus or minus 1 chunks at a time. When your kitchen counter is covered, every object is another chunk. That visual noise overflows the buffer, and suddenly normal tasks feel harder than they should. This clicked for me when I realized I wasn't sloppy. I was asking my brain to hold 12 things in a space built for 4. That's predictive coding strain in real life. Your brain keeps trying to predict what should be where, and every mismatch costs energy. The reason this works against you is predictive coding. Your brain constantly predicts what should be where. When something's missing or opaque, it has to guess. That guesswork costs metabolic energy and attention you need later. Opaque storage, pretty baskets with no labels, forces your brain to rehearse, where did I put the scissors? Again and again. It's not that you're forgetful. The system is asking for predictions your brain shouldn't have to make. And then there's attention residue. Sophie Leary's studies show that when you leave a task unfinished or get interrupted, part of your attention stays tethered to the previous task. So that soaking pan and the half-folded laundry aren't neutral. They siphon attention while you're trying to write, study, or plan. You feel foggy, you think you lack discipline, but you're just operating with busy RAM. Add the Zeigarnik effect on top, unfinished chores stay open in your mind, and you get constant low-grade tension. That tension keeps your amygdala on watch, so your prefrontal cortex, the part that handles planning and big goals, downshifts. There's research showing messy, cluttered environments are linked to higher stress hormones. UCLA's Center on Everyday Lives of Families, CELF, found that describing a home as cluttered tracked with elevated cortisol across the day. You know that prickly feeling you get when you look at a crowded counter? That's your nervous system reading the room as work not done, therefore not safe to relax, therefore no bandwidth to dream big. Let me show you exactly how this snowballs. You walk into a multi-use space, say your living room/office. Your brain doesn't know whether to relax or grind, so cues conflict. You glance at your phone on the coffee table, the visible screen pings a prediction. Check me. You see an open bin of chargers, your brain tags them as unresolved. Where do these go? You remember the unsent return by the door. Zygarnik loop reopens. Before you touch your main task, you've burned through your tiny buffer and some glucose on choices you didn't plan to make. The thing most people miss is thinking the solution is to tidy faster. Faster tidying just resets the mess if the number of decisions per action stays high. The better method is to reduce choices. One-touch homes, closed labeled containers, and short paths so the return to home is under 10 seconds. Each of these changes slashes predictions, predictive coding load, cuts attention residue, lowers clutter-driven cortisol spikes, and turns open loops into done loops your brain trusts. Okay, so the tricky part is storage that looks clean but acts opaque. Clear bins with no verbs still force a mental search. Label with verbs tied to actions, charge, prep, drop, so your brain doesn't have to translate what a thing is into what to do with it. Verbs close decisions. Nouns often do not. Another piece that matters is distance. If it takes more than 2 steps to put something away, it won't happen in real life. Not because you're lazy, but because your brain heavily discounts future effort when you're in motion. Shorter paths mean fewer micro-asks, which means less chance you'll park it on the nearest flat surface and create a new open loop. Let me slip in a micro story. Last week, a client kept losing 20 minutes re-entering work after checking the kitchen. We made 2 changes, moved the phone charger out of sight from the desk, and created a prep zone with knives and boards 1 move from the sink. Result? Fewer pings, fewer predictions, and she recovered a solid 90 minutes of deep work that week. Same person, different home architecture. Here's the shortcut nobody teaches. Design the room so the default state is done. Closed lids that hide visual noise. 1 home per item near the use point, and a tiny dopamine drip for each closed loop, like a visible label or a clear counter, so your brain sees proof and relaxes. If you remember nothing else, remember this. Your ambition shrinks when your brain reads your home as a field of open loops. You don't need more grit, you need fewer asks. Once you nail that, everything else clicks, because your nervous system stops budgeting against your goals and starts freeing resources for them. Now here's where most people mess up, fixing clutter without fixing the triggers. So next, we'll map the exact domestic load triggers that keep tripping you and the 4-beat loop to kill them fast. The 7 domestic load triggers you keep tripping. Let's map the landmines. Once you see these, you'll stop blaming yourself and start fixing the system. First, orphan items. Anything without a default home forces a routing decision every time you see it. You loop past the tape measure or that random USB and your brain asks, where does this go? Again, that's a tax you pay forever until you give it 1 home, near the use point, with a clear verb on the label. The quick test. If you can't point at its home in under 2 seconds, it's an orphan. Fixing just 5 high-frequency orphans often halves your ambient asks. Now multi-use spaces. When one room tries to be 3 identities, your brain gets mixed cues. Couch plus laptop plus TV plus dumbbells equals relax or grind or play. Predictive coding fires in 3 directions and you stall. The move isn't to make it perfect, it's to make identities obvious. 1 verb per area. If the coffee table is red, pull the charger hub out of sight. If the desk is work, no snacks, no nail clippers, no mail. That line in the sand reduces conflict and frees attention. Third, open storage. Every exposed bin, shelf, and basket is a visual ping. Your amygdala scans it as unresolved. Closed homes with simple verb labels drop the vigilance. Pretty baskets with no words are just opaque. Your brain still has to rehearse what's inside, so it burns glucose on a guess. Put lids on, slap a verb on top, and you'll feel your shoulders drop when you walk by. Friction points are next. Sticky doors, tight lids, chargers that live in a drawer across the room, hangers that snag. These tiny annoyances teach your brain not now. And not now becomes a pile. 2-step test here. If it takes more than 2 easy steps to put away or pull out, redesign. Swap the lid, add a hook, move the charger to hand's reach at the use point. Remove friction from essentials, add a hair of friction to distractions. Then open loops. Half-folded laundry, dishes soaking, a half-wiped counter. You tell yourself it's in progress, but Sophie Leary's attention residue says otherwise. Your next task steals the cost. The brain keeps that loop active, so your focus leaks. Tighten the loop, downsize loads so you can actually finish in one pass, or create a visible inbox spot with a finish trigger you honor, like a timer or a playlist track. Done over big. Notification zones. Any visible device with alerts on is a standing micro-ask. Even face down, if it's in sight, predictive coding runs a check. That's why deep work at home collapses. Set charger geography on purpose, hubs away from work surfaces and sleep zones. Funnel notifications to one device, one place on a schedule. If you need your phone for timers or music, use focus modes and a cover over the screen. Out of sight isn't cute, it's cognitive relief. Finally, social asks. Who moved my? Did you put away the? Every time someone can't predict a home, you end up in ambient negotiations. That's safety load. It puts your nervous system on watch for the next ask. Solve it with shared verbs and obvious homes. One hook per person, one tray per person, labels everyone understands. And agree on homes, loops, friction as the language. You'll cut debates in half because it's about the system, not character. Now, here's where most people mess up. They try to attack all 7 at once. Don't. Pick the one that hits you most times per day and get a fast win. For most homes, orphans and friction points move the needle fastest, then open loops and notification zones. Multi-use identity tweaks are powerful too, but you can do them in 5 minutes by removing one conflicting cue per area. Let me give you a quick story. A client's entryway had beautiful open shelving, 3 baskets, no labels. Every night, keys and mail floated. Mornings were chaos. We closed 2 baskets with lids, labeled 1 drop and 1 mail, added a single hook per person, and moved the phone charger to a hidden shelf by the kitchen. Next morning, no hunt, no dings, out the door in 6 minutes less. Same square footage, totally different ambient load. If you remember nothing else from this section, remember this: each trigger is a repeatable tax. Your brain pays it every pass. Remove the trigger and the tax vanishes. That's how ambition grows back: fewer taxes, more clean cycles. And this next part separates beginners from pros. You need a simple loop to kill these triggers on autopilot. That's where the 4-beat room design comes in. One-touch returns, short paths, verb labels, and instant wins. Let's build that now. The 4-beat loop for rooms, MVM inside. This is the game changer nobody talks about. A 4-beat loop that turns any room into low-friction autopilot. The goal isn't pretty. It's fewer decisions per action and clean dopamine signals that keep you going. We'll build it fast, then bake in minimum viable momentum so you never burn out. Beat 1 is one-touch return to home. Why this matters: every extra touch multiplies chances you'll bail. When you can drop or dock something in one move, there's no micro-negotiation. What it is: one default home for each high-frequency item, placed so you can put it back without thinking. How you do it today: pick 5 orphans you see daily: keys, remote, glasses, headphones, tape measure. Give each a closed home with a verb label near the use point. Keys go in a tray by the door labeled drop. Headphones in a drawer by the desk labeled listen. Tape measure in the toolbox labeled measure. Common mistake: 2 good homes. That creates a choice: 1 home only. Beat 2 is shorten paths. Why? Distance and awkward angles add invisible friction, and friction breeds piles. What? Design so the path from use to home is 5 to 10 steps max, ideally 2. How? Stand where you use it and look left, right, down. If the home isn't within arm's reach or a couple steps, move the home, not the habit. Chargers live where you sit to use the device. Cutting boards live between sink and stove. Laundry baskets live where you actually take off clothes. 2-step test here. If it's more than 2 easy steps to put away, redesign. Common mistake: sticking essentials in a hall closet because it looks cleaner. Looks clean, leaks effort. Beat 3 is label with verbs. Why nouns make you think? Verbs tell you what to do. Verbs close decisions and / predictive guesses, predictive coding again. What? Clear, short action labels that match the task: charge, drop, prep, file, toss, return, pack. How? Print or handwrite big and obvious on lids, trays, shelves, and drawers. Pair with closed storage so your amygdala doesn't scan the contents. If you share space, add icons for kids, like a plug for charge or a t-shirt for wear. Common mistake: vibe labels like misc or pretty baskets. That's opacity. If you can't say the action in one breath, it's not a verb. Beat 4 is reward micro-wins. Why? Your brain repeats what feels good. A tiny visual done cue gives you a dopamine drip that makes the next pass easier and supports SDT's competence need. What? Fast feedback at the end of the loop, an empty counter square, a tray you can see clear, a checklist you tick, a photo after. How? Stage small before-after moments. Keep a visible square of counter clear and wipe it as a finisher. Use a magnetic whiteboard with 3 boxes, orphan, friction, digital, and tick them nightly. Snap a 2-second photo of the cleared drop zone. Common mistake, saving the win for a marathon clean. You want 10-second hits, not 3-hour slogs. Now, minimum viable momentum. You'll use 90-second passes to remove friction, not clean everything. Set a short timer and choose one. Fix 1 orphan, move 1 home closer, add 1 verb label, or clear 1 visible square. Stop at the bell. This matters because momentum beats willpower, and it feeds self-determination theory's competence lever with fast, visible wins your brain trusts, while predictable passes raise the safety lever. Here's the pattern interrupt, the 2-step test. Any action that takes more than 2 steps to start or finish gets redesigned. If laundry needs you to fetch hampers upstairs, add a hamper where clothes land. If dish soap hides under the sink, move it to a pump by the faucet. If your work headphones live in a case with a zipper that snags, swap the case or add a hook. 2 steps or less, or it will pile. Let me show you exactly how this looks in a tiny room refresh. Entryway, 1 hook per person at shoulder height, 1 lidded tray labeled drop, 1 bin labeled mail with a divider action and recycle. Shoes, 1 pair per person out, the rest in a closed box labeled rotate. That's beat 1 and 3. Now beat 2, tray right where hands land, hooks within 1 step of the door, mail bin inches from where you stand. Beat 4, clear the floor square by the door, that empty square is your daily done. 90 seconds nightly, return keys, lid the tray, clear the square. That's it. Once you nail that, everything else clicks. Do the same in your kitchen prep zone. Boards and knives 1 move reach, towels on a hook by the sink, compost bin with a lid labeled toss. Desk, laptop docked, 1 charger, noise off in a container with a cover, paper in a single inbox. Bathroom, daily kit in a caddy labeled get ready, backups in closed, labeled bins. If you remember nothing else here, remember this: 1 touch, short path, verb label, tiny reward. Do that, and your rooms stop asking and start helping. The 3 levers map: autonomy, competence, safety. So you've got the 4-beat loop. Now we lock it in with the 3 levers from self-determination theory that drive intrinsic energy: autonomy, competence, and safety, often framed as relatedness predictability at home. When these line up, your nervous system stops fighting you and starts fueling momentum. Miss one, and the system feels like shoulds and slips back to chaos. Start with autonomy. This is the shift from I have to I choose to because future me wins. Why it matters. Shame burns out fast, choice sustains. When you feel like you're choosing, your brain predicts a reward and lowers resistance, SDT 101. What it is here: tiny scripts and setups that make each action feel like a vote for the life you want, not a punishment for the mess you see. How to apply it today: pair every micro-action with a because that ties to a concrete benefit. I choose to clear this prep square because tomorrow's breakfast is smooth. I choose to move the charger because I want quiet mornings. Keep it specific and near-term, your brain buys close payoffs. Now competence. This is your brain's trust meter. If it can see fast wins, it gives you more energy. If it only sees endless chores, it throttles back. Why it matters. Those tiny visible done cues teach your nervous system I can close loops quickly. That belief snowballs SDT's competence needs satisfied. What it is here: build obvious proof points into every room, clear squares, 1-touch homes, and a nightly 3-tick checklist. How to do it: use the 90-second passes and the 2-step test and make the win visible. Empty a small square on the counter and actually look at it for 2 seconds. Tick orphan, friction, digital on a card. Snap a quick after pick. Sounds silly, works great, because it feeds the competence loop without waiting for a marathon. Safety is the quiet lever. It's about predictability and lowered social friction. When the environment is predictable, cortisol drops, and the prefrontal cortex gets to work. Why it matters. If your house feels like you're about to be asked for something any second, by a person, a pile, or a ping, ambition shrinks. What it is here: clear, labeled homes everyone understands, stable routines that close the 5 big loops weekly, and digital rules that stop surprise interruptions, less attention residue. How to do it: Close storage with verbs, one hook and one tray per person, obvious mail action bins, and a posted charger geography. Map so devices live where they're used, not everywhere. Add a simple house rule: no new zones without killing an old one. That protects predictability and satisfies SDT's safety relatedness need in shared spaces. Let me show you how they stack. Autonomy first. Say out loud, I choose to clear this desk square because I want a clean runway at 8 a.m. Then Competence. Hit a 90-second pass, return headphones to listen, move the notepad to arm's reach, label the charger charge. End with a tiny reward. Take a photo of the clear square, tick your 3 boxes. Finally, safety. Put a cover on the phone, flip on a focus mode, and drop your paper into the single inbox. That whole sequence is under 4 minutes. You just told your brain, I choose, I can, and I'm safe. Next time will feel easier because your system expects the same path. Common mistakes to avoid: using autonomy as a pep talk without designing the path, choice without friction removal still leaks, or chasing competence with giant projects. If it takes longer than 3 minutes, it's probably not building daily competence. And with safety, beware vibe-only systems, pretty baskets, no labels, that look calm but are opaque. Opaque equals guesswork, which equals vigilance. Now, habit queuing. Tie homes to actions you already do. Keys in drop right after you lock the door. Kettle next to your water bottle labeled hydrate, so the morning cue is automatic. Laptop docked triggers the cover over your phone. These are if-then bridges. If I stand here, then I touch this home. The reason this works is you're piggybacking on existing neural paths instead of inventing new ones. Script swaps help when your brain argues. Instead of I have to clean, try I choose to remove one friction so future me starts faster. Instead of I'm behind, try I'm closing one loop now, the rest can wait. If you remember nothing else in this section, remember this line. Autonomy picks the target, competence pulls you forward, safety keeps the path clear. Proof point: quick story. A client's shared kitchen was a fight zone. We added verb labels, one knife board prep station, moved snacks off the work counter, and posted simple phone rules. Chargers at the dining shelf, not the island. We ran a weekly 10-minute reset talk with one ask each. Result? Fewer where is, pings, smoother mornings, and she added 3 hours of deep work that week. Not because she tried harder, because autonomy, competence, and safety aligned. Once you nail these levers, the 4-beat loop turns into culture. Rooms start to feel like allies. That's your sign you're ready for room-by-room placements you can copy today. Room redesigns, entryway and kitchen. Let's start where your day trips you most, the door and the stove. Tiny fixes here lower asks all day. Entryway first. 1 drop zone, not 3. Put it within 1 step of where your hand lands when you come in. You want a lidded tray labeled drop. Lid matters because it hides visual noise so your brain stops scanning it. Next, 1 hook per person, mounted at the height you actually reach without shrugging your shoulder. Extras create choices, choices create delay. Shoes, 1 pair out rule per person. The rest live in a closed box labeled rotate. That's identity and safety in 1 move. Keys, wallet, phone live together. Give them a closed, labeled home right at the door, not back in the office. If you charge your phone there, put the charger in the same spot under a cover so the screen isn't visible. The verb label is charge. If you need to keep the phone out of the bedroom, this is your handoff point at night too. Mail triage happens at the threshold, not the kitchen. Set a bin with 2 dividers, recycle and action. Label them big, put a shredder within reach. The rule is paper doesn't cross the line unless it's action. That alone kills later piles and attention residue from envelopes sitting on your counter muttering deal with me. Common mistakes in entryways. Pretty bowls with no lid, too many hooks, and a family tray with no names. Fix. Lid the tray, keep 1 hook per person, and give each person their own small labeled pocket or tray if you share. If you've got kids, add icons so they can self-serve, a backpack symbol by their hook, a shoe icon on the box. That's competence training without a lecture. Micro story. 1 client added just a lidded drop tray, a mail bin with recycle and action, and a single hook per person. Morning time to leave dropped by 6 minutes. That's not magic. That's fewer predictions and fewer open loops stealing glucose. Now the kitchen, your ambition's favorite ambush. The rule here is, nothing stays on the counter without a label and a verb. If it doesn't say prep, cook, brew, wash, or toss, it probably lives behind a door. That instantly cuts visual noise and lowers amygdala vigilance, so planning gets easier. Build a clear prep zone. Choose the spot between sink and stove if you can. Boards and knives live within one move of that square. Put the cutting board upright in a rack right where you prep, and mount a magnetic strip or drawer insert for knives there too. If you reach more than 2 steps, you'll grab a dull knife from a random cup, stall, and start scrolling. 2-step test every time. Give garbage, recycling, and compost a one-touch path from the prep square. If compost sits across the room, you'll stack scraps on the board, leave them, and create an open loop you can feel later at your desk. A small lidded bin labeled toss by the board solves this. Lid on to hide visual noise, verb to end the decision. Place towels on a hook at arm's reach of the sink. Under-sink drawers and deep bins are friction. If you wipe a splash and have to bend and rummage, you'll stop mid-clean. That mid-clean is where attention residue starts. A cheap adhesive hook labeled dry keeps the loop tight. Appliance audit. Kettles and coffee gear live in a brew zone. If the espresso machine sits in the prep zone, you'll blend identities and stall. Move it 3 feet if needed and label the cabinet above with brew. Same with blenders. If you meal prep often, the blender can live in prep. Otherwise, it hides behind a door with a label so it's not yelling "use me" all day. Pan and pot homes. Think one-touch stack or a rack that slides. Fussy lids breed piles. If your lids topple, store them upright in a divider labeled lids so grabbing one doesn't trigger a mini avalanche. Avalanche equals friction, friction equals delay, delay equals later mess. You see the chain. Counter rule in action. Soap pump labeled wash stays. Random vase with no plan goes behind a door or out. Spices. Keep the 5 you use daily in a closed, labeled caddy at the stove labeled cook. The rest live in a drawer with clear labels, sorted by cuisine or frequency. Open racks full of mismatched jars are visual noise bombs. Mistake to avoid: pretty baskets with no verbs. A wicker tray of oils can still be opaque. Add a label cook oils or move rarer items behind a door. Looks good is not the goal, looks done is. One last kitchen friction fix. Put a paper inbox away from the prep zone. A single, labeled bin labeled action near the fridge or a side counter captures recipes, school forms, and receipts. Pair it with a daily 2-minute sweep. You'll stop mixing admin with cooking, and that separation protects deep work later because you aren't carrying kitchen admin residue into your laptop time. Do these and you'll feel it the first morning. Entry is clean, counters are quiet, and your brain reads the room as handled. Less scanning, fewer whys, more start. And that's the whole point. Room redesigns, desk, office, and bedroom. Now let's hit the desk because this is where ambition either lifts off or dies by 1,000 paper cuts. You want one work-only surface, not work and snacks and nail kit. 1. Why? Mixed cues trigger predictive conflict and attention residue. So clear the desktop to just the essentials you touch in a typical deep work block. Laptop on a stand, a single charger, keyboard, mouse, water, and a notepad. Everything else lives in closed storage within arm's reach. Tools go in drawers by action, not by category. Top drawer, write, pens, highlighters, sticky notes, a single stapler. Next drawer, connect, cables, adapters, a backup charger. Third, reference, note cards, spare paper, envelopes. Label each drawer with the verb. Verbs tell your brain what happens there, so the move is automatic. Common mistake: a junk drawer. Rename it, fix, and stock tiny tools you actually use, tape, scissors, a mini screwdriver, then label it so your brain stops guessing. Dock your day. Put the laptop on a stand so open equals work mode. Coil the single charger through a clip so it's one touch to connect. Add a small container with a lid for distractions, phone face down inside, AirPods, random fidget, label it noise off. When you dock the laptop, you also dock the noise. That physical ritual helps your brain disengage from task A and fully enter task B, which kills attention residue faster. Paper parking is one inbox, period. A tray or vertical file labeled inbox sits on the left. Everything on paper lands there, never on the desk. End of day, run a 2-minute sweep. Decide the next verb for the top 3 items, schedule, pay, file, and either do it if it is under 2 minutes or flag it for your next admin block. No piles. Piles look like open loops and bleed into tomorrow. If you use a second monitor, park it at eye level and make sure cables are clean. Visual tangles cue friction. If you sketch, keep a single sketch pad on a stand with one pen clipped. The more steps to start, the more likely you will scroll. 2-step test every tool. Now the stealth killer, notifications in sight. Even silent, a lit screen pulls predictions. Move phone charging out of your visual field. If you need the device for timers, switch on a focus mode and put a sleeve or sticky cover on the display so the brain reads it as off. Router rules help too. Whitelist only work devices during deep focus windows. That's safety by design. Quick story: a client's desk had 4 trays, 3 mugs of pens, and 2 chargers. We cut to 1 charger, 1 pen cup with 5 pens, 1 inbox, and added a noise-off box. We labeled drawers by verbs and moved the phone charger behind a bookend. Her session start time dropped from 10 minutes of fiddling to under 2. That 2 minutes multiplies across a week into real hours. Shift to the bedroom. The job here is sleep, not scrolling. Make it device-free by moving the nightly charge point out of the room or to a high shelf outside sight. Plug in there before you brush your teeth. That handoff is your cue. If you need an alarm, use a dumb clock. Add a cover to the phone so the color hit does not snag you on the way out. Blackout cues signal safety. Darken the room and keep surfaces clear so your brain does not scan chores at bedtime. 1 nightstand, 1 book, 1 light. Anything else lives in a closed drawer with verb labels. Read, care. Keep a tiny tray for rings or a watch labeled drop so you do not seed tomorrow's orphans. Clothing is where mornings leak glucose. Build a next day kit rack. A small hook or valet near the closet labeled outfit holds shirt, pants, undergarments, socks, and any gear you need. You set it the night before while you still have juice. In the morning, there is 0 choosing. That slashes choice points and protects your first hour for the hard thing. Closet flow uses zones by verbs. Wear now, sleep, train, formal, rotate. Keep wear now at arm's reach and front facing. Box rotate items higher or lower so they are not yelling at you. Use identical slim hangers for glide. Snaggy hangers create micro-friction that becomes a floor pile. Add a small hamper right where clothes come off. If it is across the hall, you will toss to a chair. Chair piles are not character flaws, they are path design fails. Night reset is 90 seconds. Make the bed in the morning for an instant competence hit. At night, return 2 orphans, refill your water, stage the next day kit, and kill overhead lights early so your body reads sleep. If your brain races, keep a tiny notepad labeled park on the nightstand. Jot the thought, close the pad. That little close helps with Zygarnik loops so you do not carry them into sleep. Belief break: a comfortable bedroom is not lazy. It is ambition fuel. Good sleep clears brain waste, stabilizes mood, and resets your capacity to choose the hard thing. So design the room so it asks nothing of you at night and almost nothing in the morning. That is how you keep the runway clear for big goals. Room redesigns: bathroom, laundry, misc zones. All right, bathroom first because tiny rooms amplify friction. The goal is quick, repeatable mornings with 0 "Where's my?" Give the counter 1 job, get ready, everything else hides. Build a daily kit caddy that holds your exact morning set: brush, paste, face wash, razor, deodorant, makeup essentials, nothing extra. Label the caddy get ready. It lives within arm's reach of the sink. Backups and rarely used items go in closed, labeled bins under the sink or a cabinet. Refill, guests, travel. Closed matters so your brain doesn't scan 10 bottles every time you wash your hands. Shower flow next. Mount a simple shelf or corner caddy so shampoo, conditioner, and soap dock upright with 1 touch. If bottles keep toppling, add silicone bands labeled wash and condition so hands find the right one without thinking. Razor hangs on a hook labeled shave so it dries and doesn't rust in a puddle. A squeegee on a hook labeled clear cuts water spots in 10 seconds. That tiny finish cue keeps the space feeling done and reduces residue. Towels are classic friction. If the bar is far or high, you drop towels on the floor. Add a low hook labeled dry right where your hand lands as you step out. Keep 2 bath towels and 2 hand towels per person in the bathroom. Bulk stacks live in a closed bin elsewhere labeled rotate. More towels equals more laundry loops. Less is safer. Counter rule here too: if it stays visible, it needs a verb. Soap pump labeled wash, a small tray labeled drop for watch or rings, and a tiny notepad labeled park for brain dumps before bed. Everything else behind doors. Pretty cups of cotton swabs with no label? Hide them in care. Looks calm is good. looks done is better. Quick win, drawer chaos. Use small dividers by action, brush, face, hair, so you grab the right kit in one motion. If a tool snags or the cord tangles, either switch storage, hook, or wrap, or upgrade the tool. Snag equals delay, delay equals pile. Shift to laundry, the loop that eats ambition when it never closes. The rule is, one bin per person where clothes actually land. If people strip in the bathroom, a hamper lives there. If it's the bedroom, put it by the dresser, not the closet down the hall. Label each bin with the person's name. Kids get icons. Shared household linens get their own bin labeled house. Sorting by person cuts the put away decision tree by half. Folding fails when the station is in the wrong room. Build a folding station as close as possible to where clothes are stored. A clear surface, a small divider or basket per person labeled put away, and a trash for tags and lint. If you have to carry a mountain to the bed and then leave it, you're creating open loops that leak into work. Smaller loads you can finish in one pass beat big, efficient washes that sit unfolded. Two-step test for every move. Can you move wet to dry in 2 steps? If not, add a small cart. Can you start a load without a scavenger hunt? Put detergent in a pump or pre-measured strips right above the machine, labeled wash ditch fussy lids. If socks vanish, add a mesh bag labeled socks on the hamper and zip it after undress. That single tweak prevents the micro-ask, where's the match? Batch decisions with a laundry card posted by the machines. Simple verbs, wash darks, wash lights, house linens, towels. Check a box with a dry erase marker and your brain knows where the loop is. That tiny external brain reduces attention residue midday because you're not holding the state in your head. Now cleaning supplies. Treasure hunts kill momentum. Build a caddy per zone, one under the kitchen sink, one in the bathroom, one for dusting. Each labeled clean kitchen, clean bath, dust. Stock the exact tools you use in that zone, spray, cloths, brush, gloves, no mixing zones. When it's time to wipe, the stuff is arm's reach. Also, hang tools where mess happens. If spills are common near the fridge, mount a paper towel holder there and a brush labeled sweep by the trash. Kids and pets add invisible asks. Solve with visible homes and pictures. Toy bins with photo labels, blocks, cars, dolls, so even non-readers can reset. One out, one home becomes a house game, not a nag. Leashes and poop bags live on a hook by the exit labeled walk. Food scoop in a container labeled feed with a line showing the portion, so anyone can do it without a question. Hobby gear should live near you zones, not in a distant closet. Guitar on a wall hook labeled play by the chair you sit in, yoga mat in a basket labeled stretch where you actually stretch, craft kit in a lidded box labeled make on a shelf by the table you use. If you must store seasonally, pre-pack kits with labels, ski, beach, camp, so the next swap is one move, not 3 days of chaos. Where piles appear, install a hook or a tray. Jackets pile on chair backs, add a coat hook at that height labeled hang. Mail piles on the dining table, place a small action bin at the end with a lid. You're sculpting friction, add a hair of friction to distractions and remove it from essentials. Quick micro story, a family hated bathroom mornings. We added a get ready caddy, moved towels to reachable hooks and labeled backups. In laundry, we put one hamper per person where they undressed and created a folding surface next to the closets. Cleaning caddies went per zone. Within a week, fewer where's my pings, laundry finished same day, and they all felt lighter at breakfast. Same people, fewer asks. If you remember one line here, put homes where hands land, label with verbs, and make the loop finish possible in one pass. Everything else gets easier after that. Digital architecture of the home. Your house has a digital layer that either helps you focus or pulls you into residue and micro asks all day. We're going to redesign it like furniture, where it lives, how it behaves, and what it signals when you look at it. The goal is predictable, low-noise tech that supports real life instead of hijacking it. Start with charger geography. Put charging hubs where you finish with devices, not where you work or sleep. Why? If a lit screen is in sight, your brain runs a prediction loop. Check me every few minutes. So create 3 hubs max, entry or kitchen for phones, living area for shared tablets, office for work gear only. Each hub gets a closed container or cover so screens are visually off while charging. Label hubs with verbs, charge, sync, park, so the action is obvious and final. Common mistake, chargers everywhere. That spreads cues and multiplies checks. Fewer hubs, clearer rules. Now protect deep work. Move personal phone charging out of your visual field during focus blocks. If you must keep it nearby for 2FA or timers, flip on a focus mode that whitelists only essential calls, then put a sleeve or index card over the screen. The cover matters, no glow, no cue. Place a small box on the desk labeled noise off. That's where phone and earbuds go when you're in. It's a dock ritual that helps you let go of task A and fully enter task B, which shrinks attention residue. Router rules are next. Most people leave Wi-Fi wide open 24/7. That invites random pings at the worst times and robs sleep. Set 2 automations. Kill household Wi-Fi during your sleep window and whitelist work devices during planned focus blocks. Many routers let you schedule SSID access or device groups. If not, use your device's focus plus app limits. The reason this works is predictability. When interruptions stop being surprises, your nervous system relaxes, lower cortisol risk. Attention residue drops, and you stop budgeting energy against ambushes. TVs and consoles are stealth magnets. Put covers on remotes or store them in a lidded tray labeled watch. Add a 10-minute timer preset on the TV or a smart plug schedule that defaults to off at certain hours. Default off-state cues reduce the chance you'll just check and slide 40 minutes. And keep gaming controllers out of sight in a closed bin labeled play. Open shelves full of controllers are visual dopamine taps. Let's talk notification funnels. Right now alerts are everywhere: wrist, phone, laptop, tablet. Funnel them to one place you choose. Here's the simple stack. Watch gets health only, phone gets VIP calls and messages, laptop gets work app notifications during work blocks, tablet gets none. Then clean the phone's home screen to a single row of essential apps and put everything else in one folder on the second page labeled later. That single row kills the slot machine grid that triggers grazing. Shared calendars cut 10 back and forths a day. Mount a small wall display or tablet in the kitchen showing a read-only family calendar. Everyone can see tonight's thing without pinging you. Pair it with a whiteboard for the week's top 3 house tasks: returns, repair, prep, so domestic loops are externalized. Externalizing lowers cognitive load because you're not carrying state in your head. Email and admin are residue factories. Give them a block, not all day. Create one admin hour 3 to 5 times a week. Outside that block, turn off badge counts and set auto-fetch to manual. Put a sticky on the laptop, admin at 4. That tiny boundary prevents switching costs and attention residue from bleeding into creative time. Kids and shared tech, same rules, simpler cues. One charging shelf for all kid devices, labeled charge, with a power strip you can switch off. School nights, power off at the strip an hour before bed. Post a tiny card, when off, then read or prep. The card gives them a path instead of a no. Digital safety lever, predictability lowers cortisol. Bedtime do not disturb, morning no social until after the first deep work block, and a visible cue that tech is parked at night. A basket with a lid by the entry labeled park does wonders. You're telling your brain, no pings are coming, we're safe. 2 quick friction fixes. First, eliminate cable hunts. Stick a cable clip at each hub, label the cables by device, phone, iPad, headphones, so you never fumble. Second, tame random apps. Once a week, delete or offload one app that causes grazing. One removal equals one less daily ask. Micro story. A client kept doom scrolling after dinner and waking groggy. We moved phone charging to a kitchen shelf with a lid, set Wi-Fi off from 11 to 6, funneled alerts to watch only for health, and added a wall calendar. In 3 days, she fell asleep faster, and her morning deep work jumped by 45 minutes. Same phone, different architecture. If you remember one line here: locate, label, and limit. Locate devices where they support the action, label the homes and the rules, limit alerts to one funnel. Your digital layer will finally match the physical comm you're building. The 5 home loops you must close weekly. Time to zoom out. Daily sweeps keep things light, but these 5 weekly loops are what actually drop your ambient asks. Close these and your weekdays feel flat and calm. Skip them and tiny fires pop all week. Loop 1, intake. Packages, mail, kid papers, random freebies, stuff flows in nonstop. If you don't have an intake ritual, you get later piles that whisper at you during work. The move is a 10-minute window, same day, near the entry. Open everything standing up. Recycle packaging immediately. Action items go in one labeled bin action, no mixing with the kitchen. Returns get tagged right then with a sticky that says where and by when. If you can do a thing in under 2 minutes, scan, sign, snap, do it on the spot. The reason this works is you're cutting Zygarnik loops at the threshold, not letting them leak into your counters and your head. Loop 2, outflow. This is returns, donations, library books, stuff to friends. Outflow is where ambition dies because you keep stepping over bags for 3 weeks. Build a staging zone by the door. 1 bin for returns, 1 for donate, 1 for out. Label each and keep a roll of painter's tape and a Sharpie there. When you drop something in, you also write a deadline. Tape the label right on the item or bag. Then block a weekly 10-minute run for drop-offs or at least to put them in the car. If it reopens twice, like the donate pile crawls back inside, you redesign the spot, not your will. Maybe you need hooks instead of bins. Maybe you put the donate bin in the trunk. System first. Loop 3, prep. Sunday reset is the cliche because it works, but keep it light and pointed at the first 48 hours. You want a prepared runway, not a second job. Food. Pick 3 default meals for early week, pre-chop 1 veg, cook 1 protein, set breakfast gear in the brew or prep zones. Clothes. Set 2 next day kits. Work. List your first deep task for Monday and Tuesday on a sticky and park it at your dock. House. Refill soap, paper, and trash bags where they live. 10 to 20 minutes tops. The goal is to slash choices Monday morning, predictive coding relief, lower cortisol spikes, and start the hard thing before the house starts asking. Loop 4, repair. Small broken things burn attention like nothing else. A loose knob, a dead bulb, the closet door that sticks. Each pass is a tiny not now that adds up. Post a single repair list on the fridge or a shared digital note. During the week, drop in issues as short verbs. Fix knob, replace bulb, lube hinge. Weekly, scan the list and either batch do the 2-minute fixes or book help now. No middle. The thing most people miss is waiting to have time. You don't find time, you remove friction or you outsource. And each item you cross kills a future micro, ask every lap through that room. Loop 5, social. Most homes fall apart in the gaps between people, so you run a weekly 10-minute reset talk. Same time each week if you can. Keep it to 1 ask per person and use the shared language, homes, loops, friction. What's working, what's not, 1 change we'll try. Post 1 shared KPI on the wall like time to leave, dishes done by 9, or where does this go? Count. Track it loosely. The proof loop lowers debates because you're looking at a number, not guessing. Safety goes up, cortisol drops, and you all stop asking each other midday questions that bleed into work. 2 helper moves glue these loops. First, calendar blocks. Put a 30-minute weekly loops block on your calendar, ideally attached to something you already do, after groceries, after Sunday coffee. Split it into 3 10-minute sprints, intake and outflow at the door, prep in kitchen and bedroom, repair scan plus 1 quick fix. If you live with others, the social loop is its own 10-minute slot. Second, stage the tools where the loop lives. Tape and Sharpie at the door, scissors and a box cutter in the entry, labels and a pen in the kitchen, a bulb stash and screwdriver in a hall caddy labeled fix. You're building predictable cues, safety and fast wins, competence on purpose. Common mistakes to avoid. Turning prep into a marathon meal plan you resent, hoarding returns in a closet instead of near the exit, mixing admin with cooking so paper and onions share a counter, and trying to track 5 metrics. 1 KPI is enough. Also, beware vibe-only planning, pretty calendars nobody checks. Mount a small, visible board with this week's loops and next reset time. Your brain relaxes when it can see the path. Micro story. A client's weeks felt like whack-a-mole. We added a 10-minute intake at the door, a returns bin with tape and labels, a tiny Sunday prep for 2 breakfasts and 2 outfits, a single repair list with a 5-minute fix window, and a 9-minute social reset Friday after dinner. In 2 weeks, where does this go? Count dropped by half, arguments dipped, and she logged 3 extra deep work hours. Same family, fewer open loops. If you remember 1 line, close intake, outflow, prep, repair, and social every week. When loops close, ambition opens. The 60-minute Kickstart Plan. You don't need a weekend, you need 1 tight hour that rips out the biggest asks. Set a 60-minute timer. We're moving fast, no perfection, just fewer choices by tonight. Minute to 10, Entryway 1-touch setup. Stand where your hand lands as you enter. Place a lidded tray right there labeled drop. If you don't have a lid, use a shallow box and a folder on top, visual noise hidden. Mount or stick one hook per person at shoulder height. Too many hooks creates choices, so cap it. Put a small bin on the floor labeled mail with 2 dividers, recycle and action. If you've got labels, write big. If not, tape and a marker works. Drop a pair of scissors and a box cutter into a cup by the bin so opening packages is one move. 2-step test it. Keys out, into drop, code up 1 hook, mail open, recycle or action. Done. Minute 10 to 25. Desk surface purge plus inbox creation. Clear the desktop to laptop, 1 charger, 1 pen, 1 notepad, and water. Everything else goes into a temporary box on the floor, parking, not purgatory. Place a single tray on the left labeled inbox. Sweep every loose paper into it. Pull your charger through a clip so docking is one touch. If your phone lives here, add a small container with a cover labeled noise off. Dock phone and earbuds there during work. Now label drawers by verbs, write, connect, reference. Toss a sticky on the monitor that says deep first so Monday you doesn't wander. 2 minutes at the end, take a photo of the clear square. Competence hit locked. Minute 25 to 40. Kitchen prep zone clear and knife board home. Pick the counter between sink and stove. That square becomes prep. Wipe it once. Stand there and set a cutting board upright in a rack within 1 move. Put your 2 sharpest knives on a magnetic strip or in the nearest drawer with a simple divider. Place a small lidded bin labeled toss at arm's reach for scraps. Move towels to a hook right by the sink labeled dry. If spices sprawl, corral the 5 you use daily into a small lidded caddy labeled cook. The rest go behind a door. 2-step test from prep. Reach board, reach knife, reach toss. If anything takes 3, move the home closer. Counter rule, anything staying visible needs a verb. Prep, cook, brew, wash, no verb, it hides. Minute 40 to 50. Move phone charging out of the bedroom and set a sleep cue. Pick a shelf in the entry or kitchen as the nightly phone dock. Add a charger and a cover so screens are visually off. Label it charge. Put a dumb alarm or turn on an old one by your bed. If you can, schedule do not disturb for your sleep window and set Wi-Fi off overnight on your router or devices. Drop a tiny notepad labeled park on your nightstand for late thoughts. That's your Zygarnik bleed valve. Tonight, plug in at the dock before teeth. Done. Minute 50 to 60. Calendar the weekly loops and anchor a reset. Open your calendar and block a 30-minute weekly loops window right after groceries or Sunday coffee. Title it intake, outflow, prep, repair, social. Now add a 9-minute nightly sweep block after dinner. Call it 9-minute MVM. If you share space, add a 10-minute Friday talk called reset, 1 ask each. Post a simple whiteboard or sheet near the entry with 3 boxes, orphan, friction, digital. You'll tick 1 each night after the sweep. Last move, write your first deep task for tomorrow on a sticky and put it at your laptop dock. Rehook time, feel the lighter head. That's reclaimed RAM. You didn't clean your life. You cut micro asks at the door, at your desk, at the stove, and in bed. 4 choke points fixed in under an hour. What if something jammed? Use the 2-step test. If any action takes more than 2 easy steps now, redesign it tomorrow with a 90-second pass. Maybe that hook is too high, the toss bin is awkward, or the charger cable slips behind the shelf. Tiny tweaks, not new projects. Common hiccups to avoid. Making the desk pretty instead of empty, keeping 2 drop spots, leaving knives in a cup across the room, or parking the phone dock where you can still see the glow from the couch. Hide screens, label verbs, keep homes where hands land. You just built 4 proof points. Entry asks drop, desk start time shrinks. Cooking starts faster. Sleep cues fire sooner. That's the base layer for momentum. Tonight, take 2 seconds to notice each clear square, the drop tray closed, the prep zone empty, the desk ready, the nightstand calm. That tiny look tells your brain this new path is safe and worth repeating. Tomorrow, we'll make it automatic with the 9-minute sweep. Daily MVM, the 9-minute sweep protocol, residue killer. This is the glue. 9 minutes a day keeps loops closed without turning your night into overtime. Set a 9-minute timer after dinner or your last work block. Same window daily so your brain expects it. We're not cleaning, we're lowering asks. 3 moves, then stop. Close 3 loops, 1 orphan, 1 friction fix, 1 digital. That's it. Start with the orphan. Scan the busiest path you walked today, entry to kitchen, desk to bedroom. Grab the first item you keep stepping over that doesn't have a home. Name it out loud, scissors, and give it a single home near where hands land. Closed container, verb label. Measure goes in toolbox labeled fix or scissors go in drawer labeled cut. one home only. Time check, under 2 minutes. This reduces predictive guesses and kills a tiny cortisol ping every lap. Now friction. Ask, what made me say not now today? Sticky bin lid, charger sliding behind the nightstand, coat hook too high. Fix 1. Swap the lid, add a cable clip, move the hook to shoulder height. If you don't have the part, stage it. Drop a sticky on tomorrow's errands or toss the part into a visible fix caddy. Goal is 2 steps or less next time. Time check, under 3 minutes total so far. Digital last. Your house's quiet depends on this. Do a micro reset that shrinks tomorrow's pings. Example moves. Funnel notifications with a single focus mode for morning, park your phone in the noise off box, or clean your phone's home screen to 1 row. If it's bedtime, plug the phone in at the kitchen charge hub and flip Do Not Disturb. If it's earlier, put the device under a cover out of sight while you finish the sweep. Time check. You've got about 4 minutes left. Use the 2-step test as you move. If it takes more than 2 steps to start or finish an action in the spot you're fixing, redesign that spot now or write a tiny note for tomorrow's 90-second pass. This keeps you from drifting into a full tidy and burning the clock. Remember, momentum beats marathons. Reward the micro win. Snap a 2-second after photo of the clear square you created, drop tray closed, prep zone empty, desk visible. Then tick your whiteboard boxes, orphan, friction, digital. That little completion hit matters. It tells your nervous system we can close loops fast. Competence climbs and tomorrow feels easier. If your brain pushes back, I'm tired, use the script. I choose to because future me wants a clean runway. Say the because out loud and tie it to something close. I want breakfast smooth. I want to start writing at 8 without hunting a charger. The near payoff keeps you honest. Fail safe if you're flooded. Do 1 verbed zone only, then stop. That could be just the entry drop, or just the desk noise off ritual, or just the kitchen prep square. 9 minutes is a ceiling, not a floor. You win the day by finishing, not by doing extra. Here's a quick lap to make it concrete. Timer on. Orphan. The tape measure on the coffee table goes into a lidded bin by the toolbox labeled measure. Friction. The cutting board slides when you prep. Drop a thin mat under it or move the rack so the board docks upright within arm's reach. Digital. Clear your phone's first screen to only calendar, timer, notes, focus, and 1 messaging app. Move the rest to a single folder labeled later. Snap the counter. Tick your boxes. Timer buzzes, you're done. Common mistakes: drifting into scrubbing, starting 10 orphans and finishing none, and optimizing your phone for 20 minutes. Keep it boring and repeatable. 1, 1, 1. If it can't be done in 2 minutes, stage it for a future pass or the weekly loops block. And never add new zones at night. Night is for closing, not creating. Micro story. A client hated evenings because everything screamed at her, piles, pings, plates. We set a 9-minute MVM after dishes. Night 1, orphan headphones got a listen drawer. Friction fix was a cable clip on the desk. Digital was moving the charger to the kitchen dock and turning on a focus schedule. She took 2 photos, desk square, empty prep zone, and ticked the boxes. She slept better and started writing 5 minutes after sitting down the next morning. Same apartment. Fewer asks. If you remember 1 line, the 9-minute sweep closes 3 loops you feel tomorrow. Do it nightly, stop at the bell, and let the room do more of the work. Dopamine drain reset for the home. Some nights the house just shouts at you. Piles, pings, dishes, random socks. Your dopamine tank is empty, so even the easy stuff feels heavy. This is where we don't push harder. We flip your state with a quick dopamine drain reset. It's 5 moves, 5 minutes if you want, and it's built to pull you back into motion without needing motivation. First, pick a low skill, high win. When you're flooded, you need an instant visible change. Make the bed, clear the sink, wipe the prep square, or empty the drop tray. 1 thing, not 3. Go for the one that will shout done when you glance over. Why it works: your brain loves clear finish lines. That little done gives you a dopamine bump that makes the next step easier. Don't overthink, pick, do, stop. Second, shift your senses. You want to tell your nervous system, hey, we're switching modes. Cold water on your wrists, a window open for fresh air, stand taller for 10 seconds, then take a 30-second box breath. In 4, hold 4, out 4, hold 4. That tiny pattern tells your body you're safe. When safety rises, the prefrontal cortex comes back online and choices feel easier. Third, time box it. Set a 5-minute timer and pick 1 hotspot only. The rule is finish what you started and stop at the bell. If you chose the sink, it's clear and the towels hung. If you chose the entry, the tray is closed and the floor square is clear. If a second mess screams at you, it waits. Stopping preserves the craving to return tomorrow, which is the whole point. You're training momentum, not endurance. Fourth, anchor with music. Pick one track that becomes your close the loop song. Same track every time. When it starts, you move. When it ends, you stop. Pavlov style. Your brain will begin to associate that beat with quick wins and your start friction drops. Keep the track short, 2 to 3 minutes, and a little upbeat. Volume up enough to drown out the house mutter. Fifth, set an exit plan. Leave one tiny, fun micro task half prepped for tomorrow's pull. Put the sponge and soap side by side for a fast wipe, lay a label and marker next to the drawer you'll tag, stage the cable clip on the desk. You're planting a low bar that your future self can't resist. It's like leaving a single brownie square on the plate. You'll come back for it, lol. Now a quick walkthrough so you can feel it. Flooded kitchen after dinner? Pick the sink. Start the track. Run hot water, load the washer or stack by a labeled toss and wash path, soap pump out, scrub, rinse towel on the hook labeled dry. Timer hits 5, stop. Open the window, cold water on wrists, box breath. Drop a sticky note on the counter that says label spice bin tomorrow. That's your exit magnet. You didn't clean the kitchen. You closed one loop and taught your brain it can finish fast. Living room chaos? Pick the couch square. Toss blankets into a lidded bin labeled cozy, stack remotes in a tray labeled watch, place the controller in a closed bin labeled play. Wipe the table with a single swipe and stop. Music off, breathe, window for a minute. Stage a cable clip on the side table for tomorrow's fix. Walk away. Overwhelmed brain at bedtime? Pick the nightstand. Put the phone in the kitchen charge hub first, then back to the room. Set the dumb alarm, clear the nightstand to one book and one light, drop rings in the tiny tray labeled drop, and write 3 parked thoughts on the notepad labeled park. That's it. Box breath, lights down. You just shut off 3 asks before sleep. Common mistakes to avoid. Turning the reset into a tidy spree, picking medium-hard tasks like reorganizing drawers, starting in 3 rooms, or skipping the exit plan. Keep it small and tasty. This is a state reset, not a remodel. If your housemates are around, make it playful. Announce 2-song reset go. Everyone picks a micro win and hits the same track. End with a goofy high five or a photo of the clearest square. Competence spreads when wins are visible and low drama. And if you backslide tomorrow, that's normal. The reset is your parachute. Pull it, land, and close one loop. Action first, feelings follow. The science here is simple. Quick completions feed dopamine, predictable cues lower cortisol, and both give your prefrontal cortex the steering wheel again. Once the wheel's back, ambition has room. Remember the line? Momentum beats marathon. 5 minutes, 1 hotspot, 1 track, 1 exit plan. Use this whenever chaos spikes, and you'll stop losing nights to decision fatigue. Your home will start feeling quiet again fast. Metrics that matter. Proof you're gaining ambition back. All right, let's make this real. If you can't see progress, your brain won't believe it. So we're going to track a few simple, high-signal metrics that prove your home is asking less and your ambition is coming back. No spreadsheets. Just tiny, visible numbers that tie to real wins. First, the where does this go? Count. This is your ambient cognitive load score. For 1 week, keep a sticky and make a tally mark every time you catch yourself asking that question, out loud or in your head. Entry, kitchen, desk, laundry, anywhere. The goal is under 5 per day within 14 days. Why it matters? Every tally is a micro decision your nervous system has to budget for. As those tallies drop, you're reclaiming the same attention you need for deep work. If the number stalls, don't shame yourself. Redesign the home. Add a verb label, move a home closer, or kill a duplicate spot. Second, deep work hours at home. This one's the payoff. Define deep work as focused, no ping blocks of at least 30 minutes. Track the total you get in a week. Aim to add 3 hours by day 14. Hit a timer app or just mark it on a wall calendar with a dot per half hour. The reason this works is attention residue. When you stop leaks at the source, orphans, open loops, digital pings, your brain can actually enter and stay in task B. You'll feel it. Session start time shrinks, and re-entry after a distraction takes less will. Third, the morning runway. This is how long it takes from eyes open to starting your first meaningful task. Stopwatch it for 3 mornings. Then run your entry, desk, kitchen, and bedroom moves and measure again. Target, start in under 20 minutes without rushing. Clothes pre-staged, breakfast gear ready, phone parked out of the bedroom. Those cuts reduce cortisol spikes and protect glucose for thinking, not searching. Fourth, the weekly decision score. Each week, write down the 5 biggest choices or tasks that matter for your goals. By Friday, how many are finished versus lingering? You want 5 finished, but start by beating last week. If you're constantly rolling them forward, that's a signal the house is still spraying asks during your prime time. Go back to the 2-step test and remove 1 friction near your work start. Fifth, social friction. This is negotiation noise at home. Where's my, did you move it, can you pings? For 1 week, just tick a mark on a kitchen sticky when a negotiation pops up. Aim to cut it by 50% in 30 days. The fix isn't a lecture, it's better homes and clearer rules. 1 hook per person, labels with verbs and icons, predictable digital windows. As predictability rises, vigilance drops and those pings fade. 6th, the photo proof. Take 1 photo per day of a finished square, the entry drop closed, the prep zone empty, the desk docked, the nightstand calm. This is your competence album. Once a week, scroll it. You're training your brain to see done, which keeps motivation stable without pep talks. 7th, the review cadence. 10 minutes on Sunday. Look at your tallies, your deep work dots, your runway time, your decision finishes, your friction ticks, and 2 or 3 photos. Then make 1 tiny adjustment. Move 1 home, add 1 verb label, shorten 1 path. If a loop reopens twice, returns keep drifting back inside, or the inbox grows fangs, redesign the environment, not yourself. Bring the donate bin to the trunk, add tape and a Sharpie to the door, or split the inbox from the kitchen. A couple of guardrails so you don't overdo it. Track only what you'll actually look at. If a metric feels like homework, drop it or make it simpler. And never use numbers to shame. Numbers are just signals. If your "where does this go?" count is high in the kitchen, that tells you exactly where to spend 90 seconds tomorrow, 1 verb label and 1 closer home. Quick micro story. A client started with 15 "where does this go?" tallies on Monday. We added verb labels to the entry and prep, moved the charger to the kitchen dock, and put a noise-off box on her desk. By Friday, she was at 6 per day and logged 3.5 deep work hours, up from 0. Same person, different architecture. The numbers made it obvious and kept her going. One last tip, make it visible. Post a small card at the entry with 3 lines, WDG count, deep hours, social pings, and a spot for this week's date. Glance, mark, move on. Your brain will start to trust the system because it can see the change. And that trust is the fuel you need for bigger work. Advanced tweaks, identity zoning and friction sculpting. Identity zoning, give each micro area 1 verb, write, read, prep, stretch. Never mix without a clear cue. Friction sculpting, add tiny barriers to distractions, covers, distance, extra step, and remove for essentials, labels, reach, 1 touch. Seasonal kits pre-packed, guest and travel modes with temp homes. Sanity rule, add no zone without retiring 1. Live with others, negotiation without nagging. Living with people adds a whole extra layer of asks. Not because they're messy or lazy, because there are more brains predicting, more hands moving stuff, and more chances for homes to break. So the goal is make everyone tidy. It's build shared rules that lower asks for all of you. Here, how to do it without turning into the sheriff. Start with shared language. Drop clean and messy. Those trigger identity fights. Use homes, loops, friction. You can say, hey, our mail loop keeps reopening. Let's give it a home with a lid by the door. Or, the pan lid's avalanche is friction. Can we try a divider labeled lids? Neutral words make it about the system, not the person. People relax when you talk systems. Offer choices, not orders. Autonomy is fuel, so bring 2 acceptable setups and let them pick. Example, shoes. Option A, 1 pair out rule at the door, rotate box in the closet. Option B, 2 pair out with a low shelf, rotate still in a box. Or for phones at night. Option A, charge in the kitchen hub with a lid. Option B, charge on a high shelf outside the bedroom, also covered. Both choices serve the same outcome, fewer pings, faster mornings, but they get to choose the path. When people choose, they protect it. Aim for visible competence, not spotless. Celebrate closed loops. The backpack on the hook with the name tag, the drop tray closed, the prep zone empty. Point to that and say, this is working. Quick micro wins teach the house we can finish fast. If someone folds clothes but leaves the stack on the couch, don't nitpick. Say, great fold. Next, let's put a folding basket labeled put away by the closet so the loop can finish. Praise first, tiny tweak second. Safety first always. No shaming, no gotchas, scripts help. Swap I have to nag or we drown for I choose to set up homes so mornings are smoother. If something breaks, try this home isn't working for us yet, can we try moving it closer? Or with tech. I'm killing Wi-Fi from 11 to 6 to help sleep. If you need an exception, tell me, we'll whitelist. Predictable rules lower cortisol. People stop bracing for surprise asks. Run a weekly 10-minute reset talk. Keep it short and boring on purpose. One ask each max. Same time every week after Friday dinner works well. Use the shared terms. What loop reopened? What friction did we hit? Decide one tiny change to try. Put it on a visible board by the entry and date it. Next week, keep or ditch. That little cadence prevents resentment and keeps the house improving without drama. Use a proof loop to cut debates. Track one shared KPI and make it visible. Time to leave, dishes done by 9, where does this go? Count pick one. Post a small card with this week's number. When the number moves, you all see it. When it stalls, you change the environment, not each other. For example, if time to leave is always late, maybe you add a next day kit hook in the bedroom for each person, or put keys in a lidded tray at the door labeled charge and drop. Watch the number, not the noise. Make kids co-designers. Give them icons and verbs so they can self-serve. Backpack symbol by the hook, shoe icon on the box, toy bins with photos, blocks, dolls, cars. Turn it into a game. One song reset go. Show them the win look, the block bin is full, that's done, and give a tiny cheer. Kids crave competence. If they help name a bin or choose which hook sticker they want, they'll own it. For roommates, set zones and opt-ins. Shared areas follow the house verbs, prep, brew, wash, no debates. Private rooms are their call. Agree on 2 things that matter for the shared comm, like dishes done by 9 and mail stays at the entry and leave the rest. Post the agreements where you all see them. If something frays, bring 2 options to the next reset talk. No surprise lectures mid-scroll. Partners, assume different friction thresholds. You might hate a single cup on the counter. They might not see it. Solve with shorter paths and fewer steps, not more will. If mugs float, add a small tray labeled wash by the sink and a hook for the dishcloth labeled dry. If jackets land on chairs, install a hook at that height labeled hang. Meet their habit where it lives and make the right move the easy move. Here's a quiet trick that works. Visible finish lines. Lidded trays, closed bins, a single hook per person with their name, and drawer labels with verbs. When the end state is obvious, people can hit it without thinking or asking. That removes social asks like where does this go? And who moved my? Those are the pings that leak into work hours. Common mistakes to avoid. Dumping a new system on people overnight, adding 10 labels at once, lecturing mid-chaos, or expecting perfection from day one. Go one loop at a time. Entry first, then kitchen prep, then desk, then bedtime phones. Each win lowers the temperature for the next change. Also, don't hide the tools. Put tape and a marker at the door for returns, a box cutter by the mail bin, a screwdriver in a small fix caddy on a hallway shelf. If the tools are there, the loop closes right then. Quick story. A couple kept arguing about keys, dishes, and bedtime phones. We added a lidded tray at the door labeled drop and charge, 1 hook per person with their names, a dishes done by 9 card on the fridge, and a kitchen phone dock with a lid. They did a 10-minute Friday reset talk with 1 ask each. In 2 weeks, where's my? Pings dropped, dishes hit the 9 o'clock target most nights, and both started work earlier. No nagging. Just clearer homes, cleaner loops, safer rules. If you remember one line, talk systems, not character. Offer choices, aim for visible wins, and keep one tiny KPI to guide tweaks. When people feel autonomy, competence, and safety at home, they stop resisting, and the house starts running itself. What if it works? Future pacing bigger goals. Picture waking up and the first hour is quiet. No scavenger hunts, no where's my pings, no screen glow. You walk the same calm runway you set last night. Outfit on the rack, breakfast gear staged, phone parked outside the room. You sit, and you actually start the hard thing first. Not because you're superhuman, because nothing ambushed you. Now stretch that across a week. 1 project zone in your home desk docked, noise off box, paper parking, feeds 3 to 5 honest deep hours. That's drafts finished, workouts done, applications sent, portfolios built. Compounding is real here. Every loop you closed yesterday makes today's start cheaper. Cheaper starts lead to more reps. more reps stack into output you can measure. Here's the thing most people miss. Ambition doesn't die from one big distraction. It dies from 100 invisible micro-asks that tap your glucose and spike your cortisol. You just cut those. So the energy you used to spend hunting a charger or reopening a laundry pile goes into the thing you keep saying you want. This clicked for me when a client said, "I didn't get more disciplined. I just stopped tripping over my house." So what do you do with that clear runway? Pick the one thing that moves life forward and make it the first block after your morning routine. Write 500 words, ship one pitch, code one feature, practice 30 minutes whatever your lane is. Tie it to a visible cue at your dock, sticky note with the verb and the file name. When you sit, you start. 2 weeks of this and the resistance drops because your brain trusts the pattern. Stack a single project zone too. If you're building a side business, give it a shelf and a lidded box labeled build. If you're learning guitar, wall mount it by the chair and keep a tuner in the tray labeled play. If it's fitness, lay shoes and a bottle in a basket labeled train by the door. You're making the entry cost tiny, so reps happen without pep talks. And yeah, this scales. Calm home mornings fuel better days. Better days stack into better weeks. Better weeks become a baseline where 3 to 5 hours of deep work is normal, not rare. That's when big goals stop feeling like someday and start looking like a calendar plan. Tease for what's next. We're going to wire in cravings for deep work so it feels as pullable as your phone. I call it the Ambition Arcade. It turns focus into a game your brain wants to play. But first, lock what you've built with a simple challenge. The core idea is simple. Design your home to stop asking so your brain can finally build. Cut ambient decisions, close loops fast, and your ambition gets oxygen again. Here's the challenge. Run the 60-minute Kickstart today, then do the 9-minute sweep for 7 nights. Track 3 numbers. Where does this go? Tallies, deep work hours, and morning runway. If you want the next level, how to make deep work feel addictive, watch the Ambition Arcade next and subscribe for more repeatable systems. Jump there now. Evidence and credibility checkpoints. Quick proof so your brain trusts the change. First, clutter and cortisol. UCLA researchers followed families at home and found that when people, especially women, described their homes as cluttered, their cortisol levels stayed higher across the day. Translation: visual noise keeps your stress system idling hot, which makes hard work feel harder. Next, attention residue. The leak we keep talking about comes straight from Sophie Leroy's work. In a 2009 paper in Organizational Behavior and Human Decision Processes, she showed that when you switch from an unfinished task A to task B, part of your attention sticks to task A, and performance on task B drops. Follow-ups from the University of Washington Bothell echo this. Interruptions and unfinished tasks are prime residue triggers. Finishing task A helped, but what really cleared the mind was a clean psychological disengagement, no loose ends and no rushing back. That's why we batch admin, close loops at the door, and use visible finish lines. We're designing fast disengagement on purpose, less residue, lower cortisol, better focus. Leary's later work and summaries from the University of Washington Bothell echo this. Interruptions and unfinished tasks are prime attention residue triggers. So our noise off box, inbox separation, admin hour, and one hook, one tray, one inbox aren't cute hacks. They're ways to stop residue before it starts. The Zeigarnik effect is the other half. Unfinished tasks stay cognitively active. When your sink is soaking or mail is for later, your brain keeps those goals alive in the background. That's why we label with verbs and use lids. A lid plus a label says the loop is closed. Fewer open goals, less residue. On the motivation side, we're leaning on self-determination theory, Desai and Ryan's work, showing that autonomy, competence, and relatedness safety fuel intrinsic energy. So we use language like "I choose to because future me wins," stack tiny visible wins to build competence, and create predictable homes and rules to raise safety. People stick to systems they feel they chose, can do, and don't get punished for when they slip. Now the metabolic piece. Focus costs energy. The brain runs on glucose, and every extra prediction, where did I put the keys? Is that ping urgent? Is a tiny energy spend. We aren't claiming exact percentages here. We're using a simple truth from cognitive science and basic attention research. shifting attention and resolving uncertainty draws on the same limited fuel you need for deep work. So fewer micro asks means more energy for the thing that matters. Finally, practical support from real life. Universities and workplaces have popularized batching admin into short windows to cut residue. BBC WorkLife covered GYLIO, Get Your Life in Order, bundling small chores so they stop bleeding into everything else. Same principle here. We batch intake and admin, we give them homes, and we stop them from spraying through your week. So if you remember one thing about the science, clutter raises stress, unfinished loops and interruptions create residue, and predictable, chosen routines free up focus. That's exactly what this whole system is built to do.